Welcome back to another episode of the Lads Talk podcast. Today, you're listening to Sadiq, Garis, and Jamie. How are you guys? How have you been this week?
It's not been my week, basically.
Sorry to hear that. And Jamie?
My week has been good so far.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
positive. Well, I'm glad to hear that you've both been having a decent week. Obviously, Garis, hope everything gets better. But speaking of positives, the UK currently not very positive. I don't know if you guys have heard
Let me
about.
ask you a question. When has it ever been positive? What, as in, what were you
Well, I'm
saying?
talking about the current, the migrant situation. Obviously, I don't want to get too political, but it's just funny, like everything that's happening. And to answer Garris's question, it's not been positive, but I like to be.
Never has, since day one. Since day one, like us popping out, let's say.
No, I like to be an optimistic person. I like looking at the bright side of things. Would you say you're optimistic, Garris?
First of all, I don't know what the hell that means.
Okay.
Yes, I know people want to laugh at me, but
It's fine, I'm
like I've said,
50-50 on that.
maybe in the previous podcasts, yeah, my English is not good, man.
Should I bait myself out and
Go
try
on,
and
Jamie.
explain it? I believe optimistic means it's like being. Oh god, see, I have it in my head, but I can never word it. I can never get it out in words. Basically, it's like thinking everything's gonna be okay. It's like, oh, this is gonna be alright. Someone, say you go into an event, for example, for your work, and so being optimistic about the event, I guess you could say, is you're going in with like an open mind, like, okay, these people are going to be nice, the people are going to be like this is going to happen, the event's going to go like this, it's going to turn out like this, it's going to end out like this. So it's just keeping an open mind and not being like, okay, it's going to be bad, people are going to be horrible, I'm going to be rubbish time there.
That's correct, yeah. So optimistic basically refers to, they say you've got a glass of milk, yeah? And the milk is halfway in the glass. So the optimistic person will say the glass is half full, and the pessimistic person will say the glass is half empty. Okay? So Gareth,
Okay, going back to the question.
Yeah.
For me, it depends on the situation, I think.
Okay. And what about Jamie? Are you optimistic?
I'm way better than I have been before. I don't back in, say, in my teens and coming out of school, so maybe 17 or 18. I wasn't, and I was always like one track minded and like everything's bad, and like you said, with the half full, half empty. But now I'd say I'm significantly more better, way more optimistic than I have been.
Well, one person who hasn't been optimistic this week is Gary Linekar. I don't know. Have you guys heard what's happened to Gary Linekar?
Yeah, you told me earlier. I didn't know about.
And Jamie?
I haven't heard of it, no.
Okay, to summarize, Gary Lineker has been fired, I believe, or let go from BBC. If you don't know, Gary Lineker is an ex-footballer, retired footballer, and he presents a show called Match of the Day, which is a highlight reel of the day's football games, okay? And, he kind of analyzes it with some co-hosts, some other ex-footballers like Alan Shearer, Ian Wright, Jamie Carragher, and so on and so forth. So Gary Lineker, the government has announced there's like a new migrant policy, okay? And Gary Lineker, he spoke out against it. He said that it's almost like the UK is becoming Nazi Germany, okay? Now, the government didn't take too kindly to that. Yeah, it's him. And
he's
BBC,
the Walkers. He does it.
The Walkers guy, yeah, it's the Walkers guy.
Yeah, him. That's the only way I know him.
So BBC let him go because he broke their impartiality rule, okay? So if you don't know what that is, the BBC has this thing where they believe themselves to be an impartial news broadcaster, okay? Meaning they never take sides. Impartial means if let's pretend there's two sides, the right and the left, and impartial means you don't choose between the two, you be neutral.
Down the middle.
Yeah, unbiased, neutral, down the middle.
And you can't basically speak about your opinion and stuff.
You can't say your opinion, you can just report the facts.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure everyone knows that the BBC is definitely not impartial. Evidence for that, if you don't have to look too far, you can look at the World Cup in Qatar. The amount that Gary Lineker himself, the BBC got him to.
We mentioned in.
We did.
What was it, our second podcast.
the
as well,
third
so you
one.
can watch it there as well.
Episode 3,
Third, yeah.
Media versus Qatar. We talked about it, that Gary Lineker himself was talking about Qatar and their rules and their laws, and not being impartial at all. They were being very biased. So it's really funny that now that they're commenting on the media which is owned by the government, suddenly it's a really big problem. And that's what I wanted to kind of talk about today. One thing is the state of the country that we're in, and kind of how it affects us, or how it affects you as a listener, whoever you are. The state of the country, especially in the main cities and towns. Like, we've recently had a list of the worst towns, and there's like really known towns which have like airports, for example Luton, or there's other places with a certain type of population, Bradford, Cambridge, and so on. These towns are being listed as the worst. Okay, and then we can even go into the state of London, stabbings and shootings, and it's going crazy now. So I wanted to ask and just throw it to, let's start with Jamie. Jamie, what do you think about the safety of the UK at the moment?
I'll probably say down the middle, 50-50. We're not as bad as America, obviously, where they got access to guns and stuff. People just walk in your house and just shoot you up. But it's still there. You can go in your house, just go in any old household. There's knives and stuff there. You go to a butcher's, they have all, not machetes. What's the other ones? Cleavers. They're cutting the meat. So yeah, obviously it's not as bad as a gun like America, but it's still bad. You can have kids and teenagers or even grown men, stupid as it sounds, walking around in groups with knives trying to rob you or stab you. So it's still not as bad, but it still is bad. And then also with obviously poor areas not having as much safety. Obviously they're poor, so they don't have a lot of security for their homes. They can't afford to buy a camera for the outside of their house. They don't have proper locks. They're just a silly little shackle or something you put over the door, and it's just that little chain that's going to stop you from either someone getting into your house. So I just go to be on the safe side. I just go straight down the middle and say 50-50. There are worse places and there are better places, safety wise. We're not the worst, but at the same time we're not the best when it comes to security and safety. So I just go down the middle, say 50-50.
What about you guys?
I do agree with Jamie. Like what you're saying about knife crimes and stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's, instead of decreasing, it's increasing the rates.
It is, yeah.
Obviously, it's like when it comes to each borough, it's plus or minus, up or down. But generally, if you do generically, it's increasing over the years, if I'm correct. I'm not sure about you guys, but I saw, I think like 2 years ago, about 2 years ago, this guy, obviously, he used to do knife crime and stuff. He's getting machetes, the big knives. Machetes of like, what, teenagers or younger. Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, that's mental.
Like, they're getting into gangs and these type of crimes, which is not good, especially at a young age. Like, you're ruining your life, And obviously, like, coming back to your question, safety, clearly, it's not safe, is it? Imagine, like, God knows, 15, 14, 13-year-olds have, and there are so many cases, where teenagers, like, machetes, whatever, they stab and kill, murder. Like, when I was working at my new job, I've been working there for like a month now. When we work, we play the radio, and I'm not sure what the story is. The news. There's one of this story that's popping up. There's this. I just hear on the radio like murderous teen murdering this that. The maddest thing is I don't understand, but there are so many examples. Obviously, there are so many examples, but like your own husband or your family members killing each other. Like, what's going through your... I can't explain, and I can't understand how you can kill your own blood,
It depends how bad they've been, I guess.
Yeah, but some people are just mentally disturbed. But that's
If
like
they're doing it
reality.
randomly,
Still,
like all of a sudden your brother woke up and stabbed you, fine. But if there's an actual reason...
No, but like, come on, like babies. What the hell did the baby do?
That's fine.
Baby.
That's
yeah,
fine,
babies.
yeah.
Like,
Say your wife killing a husband,
like,
or someone killing a child.
But babies,
not
man,
child.
that's not
Babies,
even 1
yeah.
years
No
old
matter what, killing a
stuff.
baby, that's sick, yeah. But say...
Exactly.
What I would say is, to be honest, taking any life, in my opinion, is completely wrong. Okay. No matter what, I think the only time a life can be taken is if, let's say, I guess in a war, or let's say there's some sort of punishment in those countries, like capital punishment, whatever, and that's the law, they've been kind of legally proven guilty, like proper guilty, for example, then that's the scenario where they're dead. Do you know what I mean? But I think, for example, revenge killing, honor killing, killing people because of gang related incidents, whatever, that's, in all honesty,
That's
I
a
can't.
stupidity, dude. That's a stupidity.
It's not just stupidity, it's not what humans should be doing. In the Quran, I think it says whoever takes a life, is as if he's taken the life of the entire humanity, and whoever saves a life, it's like they've it's like they've saved the entire humanity. And it's so true. Like, how can you have blood in your hands? It's crazy for such a reason. And even in those countries that have like death penalty and stuff, those penalties, death penalty and stuff, is actually usually there as a deterrent, so that people don't do a crime.
Basically, it scares them off and fears them, like, oh, this happened and I shouldn't be doing that. Or if they're doing that crime, maybe like midway or during the process, they'll stop.
No, but like, think about this. In England, you could be a murderer, you could be a child abuser, let's just call it. You can be one of the lowest of the low, do the most filthy and heinous crimes, and you will be in prison for 12 years. You will be in prison for such and such years, yeah? And guess what? You'll be mollycoddled. You'll be kept isolated. Your mental health will be checked. This will be checked. You're an evil person who's killed someone, who's done such an unspeakable act of crime, and you're going to be looked after like you are an amazing person. You're going to get there's prisons, they have PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 they're playing. They have gyms inside. They have all of these recreational things. You done something so horrible and you're getting treated like that. And there's people homeless living on the street, and they're not entitled to anything. This is what I mean about this country has become, by its own doing, it's become so lawless that someone can go stab someone else and they don't care, because they're just going to sit in a room, which is nothing. Really, that's nothing. Whereas let's look at a country like Dubai, or a country like trying to think, there's one European country, it's not coming to my head, not Sweden, it's something else. But there's these countries, Dubai, Qatar, or whatever, you can leave your phone, you can leave your purse, you can leave your bag, you can leave your child, you can leave whatever, wherever, and not a single person will touch anything. Why? Because they're like, you know what, the law will get us done. Yeah? If they don't fear God, for example, they fear the law, they were like, okay, you know what, I don't want to get in trouble. And that's exactly why in this country we have so much crime, and people don't care about each other. No one cares about anyone. To steal, to get robbed, to run someone over with your car, to like be animals towards each other is so normal, and it's okay to do.
Yeah, but like, even like saying on this topic, yeah, like when you commit a crime, the amount of like years or months you're sentenced, like when you commit a crime, you should be getting punished this much years, or this should be your sentence. But in the UK, there's been, I don't know specific cases, but there's always been there's many examples where it's been much less. Yeah, then it should be. It's still like that's not fair, is it?
I'll tell you.
Imagine you take someone's life or gone.
No, you're correct. In this country, a robber, a thief, basically, who enters your house, okay, and hurts himself in your house, can sue you for damages. What kind of... Think about that for a second, yeah?
Is that actual law in the UK?
It's not about law. It's not about law. A criminal can break into your house, robs you, and in the process trips over, or hurts himself. He can sue you because your house damaged him and hurt him. Let's just summarize like that. Think about this. And you look at it, search the internet, you'll find plenty of cases. An elderly woman got robbed by some builders who worked on a house. What? They lifted her fence up, and as they were doing so, one of them tripped over and fell and hurt himself really badly, messed up his leg, sued the old woman and won. Now think about this. Yeah, this is the kind of country.
That's where the death penalty. That's where you get someone out and kill them.
No, you don't. You don't kill him.
That's where you got piss steak.
No, you don't kill him. But what? Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I would.
That's ridiculous.
Flip that.
That's
If I found out my grandmother got robbed like that, I'd want to go out and kill him if I saw him next to him, man. I'd beat the piss out of him.
But these kind of stories, like what you're saying,
see,
Jamie,
that's wrong.
like this is exactly why this country has like no laws that are worth following. Because think about it, the old woman or that whoever that person is, they done nothing wrong, yeah, and they got sued and they got charged like that. That's why people, do they have fear to stab someone? Do they have fear to deal drugs? Do they have fear to do fraud? They don't have fear for nothing. It's not only that. Think about this. A recent article, I think by the Telegraph or by someone, and I remember I sent this article and you guys couldn't read it or something, but 30,000 to 60,000, I think it was. I think Kent police or one of the police in the UK, they spent that much amount of money to colour their cars a rainbow colour, and to wear like a rainbow badge
like
and
a
stuff
badge
like
or
that
a shirt.
in support of the community, right? But I was just thinking that 60k that you spent to do that, you could be out patrolling the streets, you could be there dealing
Armoured
with
up
crimes.
vehicles, armour for themselves.
People struggling to live, pay, whatever.
See, man, people say the government care about it. Bollocks.
I've been attacked at a train station, right? And the guy is still not been found. Nothing's been done to him. Then you can look at like so many examples where I know someone, he's been robbed now twice. Okay, his car, it's been caught on CCTV, nothing. There's like nothing done. Oh, we can't, we don't have the resources. Yeah, because you spent your resources painting your car the rainbow color. That doesn't make sense. If you want to show support for the communities, go out and make sure you support them. Don't be coloring your car 60k. You're coloring your car. It's so stupid. Like I really don't understand.
What protection is that going to bring to the community or to the local people by painting the car?
They were asked.
Nothing. They just,
on top of that, they were asked to justify it, yeah? And do you know what they said? We want everyone in the community to know that we stand in solidarity with them. You could stand in solidarity with them by actually addressing the crimes that are happening.
It doesn't make sense. To be with them.
Also,
so ridiculous.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, they want to support the community. Literally, paint it yourself, man.
Innit? Why don't you paint it yourself? What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. It's much cheaper. Or just buy like a small bag. It's like buy something small that doesn't cost that much, and then you still have money left over, and you can put that into the crimes and stuff to spend it. Instead of going all out like that, professionally painted or whatever.
Yeah, and that's why people don't respect the law. People don't respect each other. The streets are worse than ever.
Also, on top of that, like there are so many cases where the police could have done something or like bring justification. What's what right
Justice.
word? I don't know, justice, yeah. Or do something right, but they don't do it, and then there's like people on social media in the comments just saying all these things. And also recently, I don't know if it was Kent Police or something, some police department, with this case, they posted something and they should be like working, and they turned off the comments because I know they're going to get roasted by the public.
Look, I'll give you a sick example, okay? My dad recently showed me this video, okay? And I remember trying to send you the link, but it was locked on Facebook, remember?
Yeah.
Okay, basically, there was a guy, he must have got like if you have to pay for TV license to watch BBC News and BBC and ITV and stuff. And he hasn't paid, okay? So he didn't pay, and I'm not sure what you call them, like the enforcer or something. Like he's come to collect money from his house, and he might take his sofa to repossess it so that they can sell it off to pay the TV license, which is like £100 and something. The guy didn't pay it. The guy comes in, the guy who's collecting the money, he puts his foot in the door. Okay, he's trying to enter the guy's house. Now we can discuss who's right, who's wrong, doesn't matter. The guy who's at the house, or I think the guy who's trying to enter the house, he calls the police, and do you know how many police turn up? 3 police officers turn up to open a door so that they can get some money for TV license. 3 police officers, okay? And the same 3 police officers, when you say there's a robber in my house, it takes them how long to get there? Can you even get one person there? It's ridiculous. And that is what
I've never experienced it myself, but yeah, I can imagine that they will take ages, or like the right amount doesn't come.
I had look, we don't even have to talk about police. I once called the ambulance because I had a reaction to an antibiotic, yeah, and I couldn't breathe. Left side's gone numb. the thing that I was feeling was a gastric attack. It's like feels what I imagine. It feels like a heart attack. Yeah, I called the ambulance. Now think about it. This is so ridiculous. Yeah, I called the ambulance. Hello, and I'm obviously I can't do the voice now because I'm not feeling it. But I was wheezing. Yeah, like hello, and like out of breath. I was like, I can't breathe. I live alone. Can you come to my house? Can you please pick me up and take me? I need to. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I was panicking. Yeah. Because I couldn't breathe. It wasn't that I was panicking and that's why I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe because of the reaction. Okay, calm down. La la la. Da, da, da. Are you feeling this symptom? Are you feeling that symptom? Cool. Yeah, answered all the questions. Okay, we have ambulances nearby. We're sure we can pick you up very soon. Yeah, cool. All right, take note of that. Okay, then afterwards they start asking me more questions. Have you hit your head? I said I just took an antibiotic and this is what happened. So they go, okay, what's your name? I say my name. Okay, obviously my name is very Islamic. Okay, let's just say. As soon as they hear my name, okay, we don't have any ambulances currently in the area. It's going to take about 3 hours for them to get to you. Excuse me? So
Yeah,
I'm paying council tax. I'm paying all of this stuff for you to take 3 hours when what I thought I'm going to die. Yeah, I told them, you leave your ambulance. I don't need your ambulance. They're like, are you sure? I said, what do you mean, are you sure? And I just hung up on them. Absolute stupidity. And this is the situation we're currently living in. So it's like, it comes to a point, like, is it...
No, the same thing happened to my sister, man, a few days ago. Literally, the same thing. Not gastric reaction, but she couldn't breathe fully at all. And she thought she was going to pass out. She calls 111, yeah, and they say, oh, yeah, we're going to send an ambulance in 10 minutes. Nothing. Nothing happens. They don't come. She calls again. Oh, yeah, we're going to send it again. Nothing. Don't come. And then, yeah, then like 2-3 hours later, then my mom just took my sister to A&E.
No, it's crazy. It's just... it comes to a point you start questioning, listen, is the UK the place for me to live anymore? Or do I have to do what my parents did and move to another country? Do you know what I mean? Migrate, because it's become, it's ridiculous. And then you have people, obviously, the government
The
are stopping...
healthcare here, oh my God, that's a different topic. It's so... there's no word to describe it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then what happens is, because the situation, the system is so messed, like you can look at tax when you work, like there's so much we can talk about. It's too much to talk about in an hour. Yeah,
I'm a student, I'm still getting taxed. How does that make sense?
It's a bit silly, but you know what happens, and I don't know if Jamie, maybe if you agree or not, but you start looking at all these annoying things, yeah, and then it's so difficult then for yourself to be, let's say, generous about things. So because it's like, I'm getting messed around with my tax, I'm getting messed around with wages, I'm getting messed around with this, I'm getting messed around with that, and then people come to you because they want you to help others. Okay, currently there's such and such people suffering, would you like to donate? So then in that moment, what do? Oh, you know what, nah.
Our sympathy of humanity, you help them out.
But that's the correct answer, right? Out of sympathy, out of humanity, out of love. But how many people can do that nowadays? You know, that anxiety that I'm going to let £3 go. I'm just making something up. £3 out of the £5 in my wallet. Yeah. How can I do that? How am I going to survive this week? It's crazy, you know? So they made us inadvertently, like they've put us in a situation where no one's nice to each other anymore. You know? No, let me think of an example. Like, for example, I asked some people very recently, I said, okay, what would you do if you saw a child in the middle of the street, yeah, in a pushchair, and they've just been left there, the baby's crying, you don't see the mother anywhere, you don't see father anywhere, it's just crying, what would you do? Do you know what the reply was? It's not my business, I'll just carry on walking.
What?
I said, like, is that your actual answer? Yes. Okay. And these group of people, they're between the age of 16 to like 21, and they're answering, if I saw that, it's not my business, I'd carry on walking. And then they said, if it was an animal like a dog, I would probably take it and look after it. But if it's a little child, I would just carry on walking because it's not my problem. Now think about the evolution of our society now. Are we improving, or are we reversing and going backwards?
More than reverse, bro. You're reversing 100 miles per hour.
Jamie, what do you think about that?
It's just horrible, isn't it?
What would you stop for the child?
Now, me, I have a different This is probably my anxiety side kicking in. I'll use another example. So say at work, for example, people come in with their kids and stuff, and the kid might, so maybe the parents come over to the desk and is talking to me. Oh yeah, I'm interested in this. Can I buy this? What's your delivery policy? How does that work? And then you have a kid with him, and the kid will come up to the desk, so just about barely reaching to the desk, says hello to me and stuff. I basically ignore the kid like it doesn't exist and it ain't there. Like I'm seeing things out of fear. All that thing of people being perverts and talking to children, I just have this fear.
Yeah,
I'm
oh
not
my
going to
goodness.
talk to any kids if it's not in my family. So I'd be a little bit cautious there if I go help the kid and then someone comes across. See, hang on, what are you doing walking up to this kid? Is he your kid? What are you doing? And I have that fear and I want to get the thing. But if I knew for 100% something was up, the baby's crying, there's nobody around, out in the open, I would, yeah. But if it's in a park and a kid's just sitting there crying, I probably wouldn't, because there's loads of people around and they probably just went and grabbed something from their bag or they had a picnic, I don't know. They just ran to the toilet and I'll be wary. But if it was out in the open and I knew for a fact that something was up and the kid was basically left, then yeah. So,
Yeah. So you wouldn't act
no
too
matter what,
quickly. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, if I knew for a fact that there was a problem, then yeah. But if I had even that slight doubt, I'd be wary. I still want to, either way I'd want to, no matter what, but it's not me, it's other people, it's the outside world again. Going back to this planet and these people are just horrible. Everyone's horrible. You instantly go to, oh, he's a pervert, he's talking to a kid, so that's why. Always be wary, and that's why I never talk to kids if they come in with their parents at work.
But I feel like
There's other people being wrong.
that's a very British and American problem, in my opinion. Like in other countries, I don't think people would see it like that. But maybe because it's not publicized like that in other countries. You know what I mean? Like in our culture, that's like a very... You talking to a kid is like, oh, why are you talking to my kid? What are you talking to this child for? That's weird. That's sus. You know, we have that kind of culture here. In other countries, I don't think it's like that. For example, you know, like when I was younger...
Really? You have that with kids here?
Yeah, even in this country, when I was younger...
No. Explain, Gareth. What do you mean?
No, like when you said the parents get they don't like it and they start arguing.
Yeah.
Stuff they don't like.
Yeah. They always think someone's being a
myself.
pervert and trying to talk to their kids.
I've never seen it myself.
It does, man. Trust me, it does.
Okay, fair enough. I don't blame you, Jamie, from the way you're thinking, about that fear. But with me, when I see kids, I smile at them because they're so cute and stuff.
I don't do nothing. I don't smile. I
smile and they smile back, and that's
it. I have maybe once or twice, but I felt...
that's my experience.
I felt really scared doing it. I can't lie.
No,
My heart won't beat or anything, but I did feel like, is someone going to... I just felt wary, and I couldn't stop thinking about it the entire day. Like, is someone going to come and say I'm a pervert, so I'm going to try with that and say I'm like that. So it's not like something's happened to me, but I just have that fear.
No, when I was younger, elderly people or people older, when I was really small, I remember they used to make funny faces at me and stuff.
People, it's your family members, right?
No, family as well. I'm saying like random people while I'm walking with my mom and dad, they'd like poke fun at me like, oh, look at you. Yeah, no, they this is what I mean. Like, do you see your reaction? That, oh, what? You know, that's so disgusting. My mom and dad are in front of them. Yeah, I'm with my mom and dad. I'm not alone. Do you understand? And that person is like messing about, like, you know, saying, haha, look at you, you know, you haven't eaten enough, whatever. And they don't know my parents. My parents don't know them. But my parents responded nicely to him that, oh, look, he's just being playful with my kid. That's it, done. And it goes on. It's not like I'm going, you know, as a child, I'm going alone with these random strangers. It's just they're saying hello in the presence of my parents. Okay? So it's many times, especially this happens on public transport a lot, or even restaurants or something. You know, like a child sees you and they're very curious. Like babies and young children are very curious and they just talk and they just do lots of stuff. So especially if it initiates if the child initiates a conversation with me, like start saying, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Of course I'm going to reply. I'm not going to blank them out.
No, I would. I'd straight up blank them out. Just turn around. I'd turn my head.
No, because usually what happens, they start talking and then usually one of the parents will be looking. Usually the parents will be looking. I will never ever start a conversation with a random child. That's like, regardless of what country, I'm not going to do that, because that's where you kind of societal boundaries.
Jamie, that comes in.
No, but I won't even smile. If it's a quick hello, I won't even like, oh, hi. I just...
No, that's sad.
Nothing. Yeah, but
That's sad on the
it's not
kid,
my
man.
fault, man. It's the world's
No,
problem.
no,
It's
no.
the world's fault.
But I understand. What
People
if
thinking
the
that way.
mom or the dad says to the kid, "Hey, say hi to the shopkeeper or whatever." You know what they say. Yeah, say hi to the shopkeeper. What would you say then?
They can do all they want. I ain't saying.
You
What? That makes no sense.
And yes, it does. I'm not. You
No,
ain't catching me out, man. I'm that thing. I'm not
Fair
being
enough.
caught out.
Really, he's went through some, seen some.
Yeah,
No,
he's-
that's the mad thing. It hasn't happened. It's not like I've been nice to talk to a kid. It's, hang
No,
on,
no, no. I'm
pervert,
saying you've probably
pervert,
seen it happen somewhere else.
I haven't even seen it in person. Probably seen it on shows and
Okay, I
films,
don't know why you like
and then
this.
heard it on news. But yeah,
Mm.
I'm that thing. I ain't trying to get caught with anything.
So let me ask Jamie one last thing before we move on. Jamie, so let's say I have a child, yeah.
Yeah.
So then my child talks to you like your Uncle Jamie, right? So what would you not speak to my child, or is it because
That's
you
fine,
know
yeah.
me and that's fine?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I know you. Yeah. If it was strangers,
Okay, I get it.
no.
You just you know what it is.
You couldn't think. There's not one sort of scenario where you could think of where I talk to a random person's kid. There's not one scenario you could think of, both of you, right now.
You know
There's
what?
Not one
You know
scenario
what?
you could think of.
You know what, Jamie?
I would speak.
I'm thinking about it now while you're speaking, yeah. And I actually understand what you're trying to say, because you know what it is. Your trust in people is not there. Like
You go.
You know, if
Finally, man.
that,
Finally.
you know what it is. If the mom or dad or
Someone
whoever
clocked.
trusts you to talk to the kid, and then you talk and hey, how are you, blah blah blah, that's really nice what you got on there, whatever, and then suddenly the people in this country, they're very quick to switch, man. They are very very quick at switching their personalities. It's mental. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense now. I understand your direction. I wouldn't follow it exactly the same, but I actually fully understand what you mean now. Fair enough. So then I want to talk about, I did mention it earlier, I was talking about charity. And, people's trust in charity, I feel like, has decreased a lot. For example, and I feel like social media has definitely ruined it a lot. But I think also just in general, charity is something that we don't do often. For example, mosques and churches and perhaps other places of other holy places of worship, they collect funds. I know, and I don't know. I just feel like the places we're meant to be doing charity in are overlooked. What would you say?
I did it once because I felt bad. I haven't done them in ages. Near me, there's a little sort of C shape of shops, and then there's parking in the middle and all the shops around the side like a C shape. And there was one outside there. I can't remember what it was for, but someone asked, would I like to do a donation? I think I did £5 or something. If it's little things like that, like little people on the streets now and again asking for things, I'm okay with them. Let's use another example. So I don't know if it was all three, but definitely two of my grandmothers passed away from cancer. And you'd say there's all these cancer charities. Even though it's something serious and two of my grandmothers have passed away from it, I still would be a bit, not that I wouldn't want to give to it, but yeah, because I feel like it doesn't all, if they really cared, there's been so many years now where these charities have been active and it hasn't come close to anything, not even close to saving them. So I'd be like, oh, there's no point. You had these many years.
It's finding a cure.
Yeah, they ain't even, it's not like they're not even trying. There's nothing that, not even got close. So I'm like, well, you're not even helping them out. So it's like BS. You're not even helping them out. What is it going to? Like we said with the cars, putting the flags on the cars, it's going to that, so why should I give money? But at the same time, I feel bad because, again, two of my grandmothers passed away from it. So I'm like, I do, but are they actually going to use it properly and wisely?
Yeah, it's called cancer research, right? For example, Cancer Research UK, yeah? So they research cancer, what causes it, whatever. There was this TV show, and think about it, I know, this is a kind of conspiracy mode, yeah? But there's this TV show, I think it was a cartoon of some sort, I can't remember. You know the Simpsons type of cartoon? No, Futurama it's called, yeah? And there was this line, Futurama is like a Simpsons, similar to Simpsons, okay? I think it's made by the same creators. One line in that show, I remember the rest of my life. When I watched it when I was younger, and then I never forgot it. And I stopped watching that program because I was kind of creeped out, yeah? And they said, charging for treatment is better for business than providing a cure. But think about how messed up that is. Because you know what? Like Jamie said, it's been how many years? How many years have they been researching? How many people have donated? How many millions have they made? And they really, really can't find the cure for cancer.
And
But
not
they
even
can find
anything close.
they can find the cure for COVID. It took them 2 years. Okay, it was a vaccine. Sorry, I should say the vaccine for COVID. I know that cancer is a different thing to like a cold or flu or virus, but really the amount of time that they spent researching it, it makes you ask questions. I'm not saying, I'm not saying that okay, fine, there's definitely a cure, they're hiding or whatever, but it makes you wonder. Yeah, and it doesn't help that we can't trust anything nowadays, or it feels like we can't trust anything nowadays because look at Matt Hancock, the MP, the guy who's in charge of, I think, health of the UK. It's the health secretary of the UK. The guy, like, look at his WhatsApp messages, exposing so much, yeah, like of what he's saying. Do you know what I mean?
So I didn't see it.
Just have a look after this episode, but he was saying some madness. Like, for example, he said the reason he didn't want lockdown to happen in school is because he was saying, oh, the teachers don't want to, the lazy guys, they just don't want to go to work, like stuff like that. And there's a health crisis, people are dying and stuff, and he's saying stuff like that. So the reason why charity is so difficult to give nowadays, not all charities, of course, I'm just saying usually, like when I see people on the street for cancer research and stuff, it's so difficult to give to them in that moment. And that's the reason why, because the trust has been lost, and trust in all like departments has been lost for these kind of things. The only thing that I only trust like one or two charity organizations. And mainly those are the ones who give money and food and stuff to people in really poor countries, or people like Turkey and Syria, Palestine, like those kind of countries, because I've seen firsthand. Not Turkey and Syria, I've not seen firsthand because I've not been there, but Palestine, I've been there. I've seen firsthand, the work people do and stuff, and I know that the money definitely goes to them. But it's the fact that can't be solved because that crisis is ongoing. If the crisis stopped, then there would be no need to send the money, but it's ongoing, so you have to constantly. But cancer and stuff, yeah, I do realize and I do understand why you wouldn't trust it. But charity, in regards to charity, one thing I will say is, if you do find a good cause, if you find a cause which is worthy, there's plenty of them. Charity is something that everyone should do. Okay, especially richer people, I feel like they should be giving a lot, and I think rich people do give charity, but they just don't disclose it, which is good. It's something that you should give secretly. I think good things should be done in secret usually, but if you want to encourage others, I think it's nice to show people.
Yeah, there's a quote in the Bible, I forgot from where it says, if you do things in secret, you get rewarded.
Yeah, and in Islam, they say charity does not decrease one's wealth, because it doesn't. Giving money to help others, you should never see that as, oh, I lost out. Do you understand? You should see it as someone has gained. Yeah, because wow, think about this. Yeah, Turkey, there was a guy, he got evicted from his apartment. He got evicted. The same thing, he got evicted from his apartment by his landlord, and a month later they're both sitting under the same pile of rubble. Think about that. Yeah, he kicked him out because he couldn't afford the rent, and now both of them don't have a home. It's crazy, man. Like in a split second, that person who we when I think of charity, I don't think about cancer research and stuff, by the way. Yeah? I think more to do with people, like poor people and stuff. But when I see a poor person, I genuinely have a split second of fear that, oh, you know what, that could actually be me. So maybe I should give something, But yeah, I think anyone listening, if you haven't given charity before, or if you just haven't given charity very recently, donate something. Donate £1, and what you'll find is that £1 will come back to you in some way or another. Donate 10, that 10 will find itself to be doubled and come back to you. That's how it works, really.
Or even if you don't feel like donating any money at any one point, maybe 50p, whatever reasons you have, like go to food banks and give food and stuff for other things.
There's no, exactly.
You can buy,
yeah, you don't even have to buy it. You might have spare stuff, donate it to a food bank, spare clothes, and sometimes some things that you give to others isn't always monetary. For example, it's absolutely free to press that subscribe button right now. So press the subscribe.
Oh.
Press the subscribe button. Right. Come on, guys, that was so clean, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
I thought you were actually going to say
Yeah.
something, and then you say
Yeah.
this.
So press the subscribe button. Press the like button. That's also free. Leaving a comment, that's absolutely free. And honestly, leaving comments helps us greatly. Tell us what you want to hear about. Tell us what you want us to talk about, and get involved in the conversation. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? We'd love to know. And if anyone has the quote of the week,
Happiness is a choice. Making yourself happy is a choice. The choice is yours to make. To live happily, be happy, or be miserable.
you know what else is a choice? Pressing that subscribe button right now. That should be your only choice right now. Subscribe, share this video with others. Let's get lads talk. We are now on 73 subscribers as of checking right now. Guys, we were on 61 last week. We've increased by 12. This is a good turning point for us. Guys, help us reach 100 subscribers. So help us get to 100, and leave a comment down below if you want to be in with a chance of winning. We are going to pick someone at random from our subscribers. Well, it's been an interesting few topics that we've discussed today. Once again, if you agree or disagree with us on any of the points, maybe you want us to speak about something else, please do let us know in the comments. And of course, we do have our TikTok and Instagram for you to follow us on, and comment on our videos. Links can all be found below in the description. But without further ado, what is that? That is a video in the right hand side. Oh, there's one on the left. And once again, the subscribe button is on the bottom right. Please do click any of those, especially the subscribe button. But until next time, it's bye from me.